statistics after a string of violent crimes and traffic deaths? We're digging deeper tonight for some perspective.
Our chief investigative reporter, Lynn Kawano, has a look at the statistics from the Honolulu Police Department. High-profile cases make it feel like there's a spike in crime, but the numbers don't yet reflect that. A shootout in a Waianae neighborhood. An elderly man strangled and buried in cement. A toddler shot by his own father. And a woman beaten to death right outside a police substation. Honolulu's most recent murder cases have made local, in some cases, national headlines and made the community uneasy. But the numbers are actually on par with pre-pandemic times. HPD has not released numbers from last year, but so far this year, 8 people were murder victims on Oahu, compared to 19 in all of 2020, a COVID year with shutdowns. The number usually comes in around 24. Traffic fatalities, though, are spiking. More than a dozen people died on Honolulu roads just in the first 2 months.
I think people are rushing out. And they're rushing about. And when you rush, accidents happen.
UH professor Mita Chesney-Lin says COVID closures could be partially to blame.
I think feeling that we've been, holed up for 2 years and we deserve to get out and about. And of course we do. But let's do it sensibly. And
Okay, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Waharakakodash. Double honors and blessings to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and good health to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is Brother Aria Al Yahawah from GMS Hawaii, coming at you with another lesson. Lord willing, it will magnify and glorify the name of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi and be edifying to the elect. Okay, so as you can see on this video, the title, Recent Violence on Oahu has community on edge, but the numbers are not alarming. You see, it says high-profile violent cases in recent weeks have some wondering if crime is spiking on Oahu. And as you can see from so far, the portion of the video I've played, I couldn't resist with stopping on this on this thing that we're looking at right now, this ugly Edomite. Okay, but you see, the simple answer to this is 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Okay, and I'm gonna bring that up real quick. I'm gonna go to the Blue Letter Bible. Right, that's the simple answer for the somewhat spike and violence. You see, and really, to be honest with you, I've been living here for almost 30 years. There's always been violence here. Now there's been more murders than normal, and in the first 3 months of this year, but it's all done by Yahawah B'Shem Hashad. Let me see, 2 Timothy chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at the top. It says, "This know also," and as I'm reading the KJV version, you can see the comparison with the NLT version, because the NLT version usually goes more to the point. You see, but I'm gonna read the KJV version. This know also, this is 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Okay, and if you look up that word last, okay, we're gonna look up that word last. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. We're going to look up that word last, as I said. Eskatos, I believe that's the pronunciation. See, extreme, last in time or in place. Last in time. So these times we're living in, these are the last times. These are the last days. Just as the Apostle Paul told Timothy in his letter. He said, in the last days, see, last in a series of places, last referring to time, See, last referring to time, of space, the uttermost part, the end. See? So the Apostle Paul was telling Timothy in 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 that in the end, perilous times shall come. When he said last days, he meant in the end. You see? Now we're going to look up that word perilous. We know that that word last means end, right? Now let's look up that word perilous. So we know that. So when he said, this know also that in the last days, we know that word last represents the end times, the end. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning. In 2nd Esdras. Okay, so we're going to look up perilous. Kalepos. Kal epos. If I'm pronouncing it right, Lord willing. It says perilous, hard to take, hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous. See? Troublesome, dangerous. So, when Paul wrote this letter to Timothy, right, he was telling Timothy that in the last days, in the end times, at the end of this world, this system, perilous or dangerous times shall come. See, it says troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage. See? And Jacob's trouble, when Jacob's trouble come, that's going to be that harsh. It's going to go from hard to bear, troublesome, and dangerous. It's going to go to harsh, fierce, and savage. So as they say that, as that old saying goes, the worst is yet to come. See, remember what was Whitney Houston's Dionne Warwick? I forgot who it was that wrote that song. I think it was The Best Is Yet to Come. But anyway, nonetheless, getting distracted by songs in my head. But yeah, Paul, the Apostle Paul, if I can call him apostle, he said, in the last days and the end times, perilous times shall come. And as we see, that word perilous means hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous. And then it's going to upgrade to harsh, fierce, and savage. Because when Jacob's trouble comes, that's going to be some savage times, fierce times, harsh, murder in the streets, rape, robbery, and all that stuff. Because the scriptures say it's going to be like no other time in history. Okay? So again, this is why I brought out this precept in regards to this video here. Recent violence on Oahu has community on the edge, but the numbers are not alarming. See, they're looking at the numbers. See, because these are unbelievers. This Edomite here, she's an unbeliever. The two news reporters, they're unbelievers. When the simple answer to why recent violence on Oahu has community on the edge, the simple answer is because of prophecy. Prophecy in the scriptures is coming true. You see? The simple answer, as I said, is prophecy. And what did Yahawashi say in the book of Isaiah? Isaiah, right? Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 11. See? Isaiah 55 verse 11. So shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. So these words in the Bible, such as 2 Timothy 3, 1-5, Mark 13:32, Matthew 24:7, when Yahawashi said, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So the worst is really yet to come. Now it's bad, and these are bad and evil days now, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, per Job 9:24. But it's gonna get worse. Salakia for the bell and the chicken. But we're gonna get on through the spirit. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go back to this video, and I'm gonna let this chicken head continue to speak.
And calmly.
Economic insecurities and a deteriorating housing crisis also exist.
And see, they're coming up with all these excuses. COVID, 2 years, economic insecurity, lack of housing. They're coming up with all these reasons as to why violence has seemed to be on the rise here. But it's just Yahawah Shai, as Apostle Tahar said, he's turning it up. This is the year of the turn up. And he's turning up the violence, he's turning up everything. And he's also turning up the spirit on his men, the prophets, and Lord willing, with those men to report on things like this, to be on the watch for things like this, to tie all these things in, recent violence, what's going on in Russia, and earthquakes and stuff around the world. All these things are tied into the scriptures. And as I said, the simple answer to why things have seemed like they're so bad over here on Oahu, with me and my brother Gabar Yahawah and Kahanallah, represent GMS Hawaii through the spirit of Yahawah Shai. The real reason why all this is going on is because Yahawah Shai is turning it up. His prophecies are coming true. You see, and as I just read in Isaiah 55 verse 11, he said his words will not return unto him. Yahawah Shai said his words will not return unto him void. In other words, his prophecies will not return to him void, without effect. Okay? So I'm going to get back to this video.
Exacerbate the situation. Honolulu banks were robbed repeatedly in January and February, with 2 suspected thieves likely responsible for more than 10 robberies.
Acknowledge that we went through a stressful period.
And see, again, this goes right back to 2 Timothy. This goes right back to 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. I have many other precepts on deck, but this one here pretty much brings it home. Like I said, when Paul wrote this letter to Timothy, he told him this was prophecy. This know also that in the last days, and as I said, I broke it down, that word last represents end in time. Okay? Perilous time shall come. I'll show you it again. That word last, see, the last days, eskatos, the last days, last in time or in place. Keep scrolling down. See, it says last of space, the end of the earth. We know the earth is not going to end, but the end of this system of things. You see, Second Esdras. Let me go to Second Esdras chapter 6. I believe it is Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 9. See, for Esau is the end of the world. Who is Esau? The so-called white man. This is his world, per Job 9:24. And his world, his system, his rulership is coming to an end. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And the kingdom of Yahawah Shai is gonna come in. His is getting kicked the fuck out. He's getting kicked out, his rulership. And Jacob, our rulership, through the spirit of Yahawah Shai, led by Yahawashi and King David, is going to be the beginning. You see? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning. And as I was saying here, that word last, in 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1, this know also that in the last days perilous time shall come. That word last represents the end. You see? So while they going through all their numbers and statistics and all these other bullshit reasons as to why things recently seem so bad, it's because Yahawah Shai's prophecies are coming true. See, I'm going to have to start over at the beginning. That's okay. So I'm going to play this tape one more time. And I had plenty more precepts on deck. Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. We see all these coming true. All that's prophecy. And that particular prophecy was spoken by none other than Yahawashi. You see? Yeah, so I'm gonna let this play again. This time I'm gonna let it play through. And that's pretty much all I got.
States, after a string of violent crimes and traffic deaths, were digging deeper tonight for some perspective.
Our chief investigative reporter Lynn Kawano has a look at the statistics from the Honolulu Police Department.
High-profile cases make it feel like there's a spike in crime, but the numbers don't yet reflect that. A shootout in a Waianae neighborhood. An elderly man strangled and buried in cement. A toddler shot by his own father. And a woman beaten to death right outside a police substation. Honolulu's most recent murder cases have made local, in some cases, national headlines and made the community uneasy. But the numbers are actually on par with pre-pandemic times. HPD has not released numbers from last year, but so far this year, 8 people were murder victims on Oahu, compared to 19 in all of 2020, a COVID year with shutdowns. The number usually comes in around 24. Traffic fatalities, though, are spiking. More than a dozen people died on Honolulu roads just in the first 2 months.
I think people are rushing out and they're rushing about. And when you rush, accidents happen.
UH professor Mita Chesney-Lynn says COVID closures could be part.
And see, I have to say this too. What does rushing out have to do with murder? What does people rushing out have to do with murder? And that just shows when you're not serving Yahawashi and you're not using the scriptures as your reference point, you're not using the scriptures as your guidance in this world today, you're just stupid, really. What does rushing and dealing with this C-19 for the past 2 years, what does that have to do with people out of here robbing and robbing banks and murdering? I mean, it might have a little something to do with it, but ultimately, when you see and hear about stuff like this, it's all through the spirit of Yahawashi. It all comes back to prophecy coming true.
Actually, to blame.
I think feeling that we've been, holed up for 2 years and we deserve to get out and about. And of course we do. But let's do it sensibly and calmly.
Economic insecurities and
Spoken by a true Edomite who don't know what the fuck is going on. An Edomite woman nonetheless. And if they look into her for answers, if they look into that thing for answers as to why there's so much violence, they fucking through.
deteriorating housing crisis also exacerbate the situation. Honolulu banks were robbed repeatedly in January and February, with 2 suspected thieves likely responsible for more than 10 robberies.
Acknowledge that we went through a stressful period. Check our family members out. How are they doing? Do they need some help getting back on their feet?
Police officials point out, compared to other states, Hawaii has a very low crime rate. I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
Okay, so I got some few more precepts. I know I said I was going to end it, but Salakia. But I have 3 more precepts came to mind through the spirit of Yahawashi. First one, and these precepts are just going to show that it's Yahawashi that's doing all of this. Deuteronomy 32:39, I believe it is. Let me see, Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that this is Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Okay? Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So these killings and these murders, it's all but done by Yahawashi. Okay? I have another one to go with that. I believe it's the book of Ecclesiastes or the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be, again, Ecclesiasticus or the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. So these spirits, these evil spirits, These spirits were created by Yahawashi, and as it says, they were created for vengeance. They were created to go out there and cause people to murder and to steal and to rob banks, as they showed in the video. And who are they working for? Yahawashi. Says in the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease. See, they appease the wrath of him that made them. That's their job. See, it even names some of these spirits: fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. All these spirits were created for vengeance for Yahawashi. You know, the scriptures say his eyes are upon a sinful kingdom. Let me get that. His eyes are upon a sinful kingdom. And what do you think he's going to do when he see this sinfulness going on, in particular with the nation of Israel? You know, all these wicked ass niggas out here think they getting away with shit. You ain't getting away with nothing. You know, so Shalakia, 1 second. His eyes are upon a sinful kingdom. And that is, I believe, it's Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. Yeah, so there's spirits out there, as it says, to take care of these wicked people. I'm going to go to Amos chapter 9 and verse 8 right now, which says, Amos chapter 9 verse 8, Behold, the eyes of Yahawah thy power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. See, he's going to destroy 2/3, but not 1/3, saith the Lord Yahawah. You see? Verse 9, For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. And that sifting is going on right now. The elect is being sifted through all nations, all around the world. See, it says, Like as corn is sifted in the sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So you see, going back to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 39, and verse 28, as I said, this is another precept that shows all the evilness and wickedness that's going on around the world is controlled by who? Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi. See the latter part? They pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Who made the spirits? Yahawashi. You see, the scriptures call him Father of Spirits, KJV. Hebrews 12, verse 9. Goes along with Ecclesiastes chapter 39 and verse 28. Hebrews 12, verse 9. See? Which reads, Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, our fleshly fathers, earthly fathers, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits, who is Yahawashi, and live? So you see, you go back to Ecclesiastes 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance. These spirits were created by the Father of spirits, spoken of in Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 9. See, it says, should we not give reverence to him? Because he's our Father, our original Father. Speaking of Israel, even wicked ass 2/3. They wicked, they're going to be destroyed on this side. But Yahawashi, through his mercy and ultimate love and kindness for Israel, he's going to bring them back through his elect. You see, fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Verse 30, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, which is the modern day gun, punishing the wicked to destruction. These spirits that were created for vengeance, spoken of in verse 28. Okay, see, they rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth. See that? See, they shall be ready upon earth. Where's this violence spoken of in that video I just showed? Here on earth, on Oahu. Where's Oahu, earth? They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come. Their time is come is now. You know, these end times, last days, as I showed in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. See, they shall not transgress his word. So again, all the violence all around the world, in particular, I'm speaking about Oahu now, you know, with this video I showed, you know, where they're talking about recent violence on Oahu has community on edge, but the numbers are not alarming. They're looking at numbers and statistics for answers. Well, you don't have to look at numbers and statistics. We know through the spirit of Yahawashi, or you get the answers are right there in the Bible. The answers are right there in the scriptures. You see? Another precept I had was Proverbs chapter 20. Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24. It says, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? And if you go to the Blue Letter Bible, right? Proverbs, let's see, Proverbs 20 and 24. Proverbs 20, verse 24. Says, man's goings are of the Lord, Yahawashi. How can a man then understand his own way? See, NLT version, the Lord Yahawah directs our steps. So why try to understand everything along the way? Now, if you do some research on Proverbs 20:24, right? Man's goings are of the Lord. You're going to see that word goings.
Strong's 84703. Mitzad.
Odd, okay. See, that word goings means your step. See, yes, the goings means your step. A step. Figuratively, companionship, going, step. So you see, it can be said, Yahawashi controls your steps. Again, going back to Ecclesiastes 39:28. Spirits created for vengeance. He controls your steps. He controls everything that you do. And whether you believe it or not, you know, some people be like, nah, man, I'm free. I do what I want to do. Nigga, you ain't free. You be in control. If you wicked, you're wicked because the Most High wants you to be wicked. If you're a thief, the Most High wants you to be a thief. If you murder somebody, the Most High put the spirit on you to murder somebody. Okay? Another precept is Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 9. Yeah, here it is, a Proverbs 16 verse 9. A man's heart deviseth his way, his heart or his mind, but the Lord Yahawah directeth his steps. See? Now let's break this down just for more edification. A man's, Proverbs 16 verse 9, KJV, a man's heart, his mind, devise his way. You know, you might think in your head, all right, today I'm going to go to Walmart, today I'm going to go to Foodland, today I'm going to go to Ross, today I'm going to go pay my water bill, and then come to the end of the day, you ain't done none of that. Why? It's because Yahawashi ultimately directs your steps. You know, it says a man's heart deviseth his way. You might think what you want to do. You know, the Most High give you that. You might even utter it out your mouth what you're going to do. But at the end of the day, the Most High controls your steps. See, a man's heart. We're going to show that word heart. I mean,
Strong's H3820. Lave.
That word heart means your mind. See, inner man, mind, will, heart, understanding. See? Mind, knowledge, thinking, reflection. Okay, so we know that word heart means your mind. Now, it says a man's heart devises his way, but the Lord Yahawashi directed his steps. See, directed. Let's see what that means.
Strong's 83559. Coon.
To be firm, be stable, be established, to be set up. See, the Most High set you up. To be set up, be established, be fixed. You see, the Most High set you up. Most High is cold. The water Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi. Kwam Yasharala Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi. Let's see, what was I? Oh, steps.
Strong's H, 6806. Sa'ad.
See? It says a step, pace, stride, step, pace, steps of course of life. See how about Shemashai controlled you. See? Course of life. And this is let me see, this is Proverbs. I'm bringing it up on my other phone. Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 9. I'll read it again. See? Proverbs 16 verse 9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord Yahawah directs his steps. And in this case, in this particular precept, the NLT version does a great breakdown. It says, we can make our plans, slack here for that. We can make our plans, but the Lord Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, determines our steps. You see? And this, as I said, this is all in relation to this, the heading I had here, which I got from the Honolulu Star Advertiser, the leading newspaper here. You see, recent violence on Oahu has community on edge, but the numbers are not alarming. And as I said, you're not going to get any answers from numbers and statistics. The only place you can get an answer to what's going on today is the Bible, the words of Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. On to the next one. Lord willing. Shalom.